Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1 was the score in Birmingham today, and yeah, I mean, I'm just glad to be home, to be honest. It was absolutely miserable. Early kickoff, pouring down with rain, awful performance, awful result. It was just a day to forget, to be honest. But as always, there's a lot of topics to discuss surrounding today's game, so make sure you've liked the video if you haven't already and subscribe for more, because if you can't already tell, there's content coming thick and fast at the moment. But without further ado, let's just get into this mess. Now look, I don't want to single anyone out because I think everyone was extremely poor today, but one player I am kind of looking at, especially in that first half, because he only played the first half, was Eberechi Eze. You've just signed for the club. You've got Martin Odegaard coming back from injury, who's proving to be pretty good and a lot better than he has looked over the last 2 years. If I was him, I wouldn't be so complacent and so comfortable with my position in the team right now. It's almost like he thinks his position in the team is set in stone, and I think that's so far from the case. I think Odegaard's coming in with a real point to prove at the moment, and Eze's just not doing it in a lot of games. And yes, he is a massive moments player, I understand that. The hat-trick against Tottenham and that brilliant assist against Bayern Munich and the brilliant assist against Man City show that. And I do understand he was put out on the left wing today, which isn't his main position, but I just need to see more. In that first half, he was getting the ball and he was kind of trudging around, being really slow with his decision making, just not really offering a lot, to be honest, hence why he came off at half time for Trossard. For a player that's new to the club, I just need to see you dig a little bit deeper. I feel like I need to see a little bit more effort because, you know, you're new around here, so, you know, make an impression, you know what I'm trying to say. And don't get me wrong, he's definitely made an impression already. I think that's maybe the wrong way to put it, but I think a lot of people know what I'm trying to say here. I think he's just not quite giving it 100% is maybe what it looks like to us fans. I don't think he was quite fully at his best today from more an effort standpoint. But on the flip side of all of the poor performances, I have to say Piero Hincapié was brilliant up until that moment at the end where he gets the ball and he dawdles about and ends up dribbling it out of play, and it ultimately ended up in an Aston Villa goal, which was unfortunate for him because, like I said, I think he was brilliant today. I think he was brilliant at Chelsea last week, and he's been quality since he's come into the team and had to cover for Gabriel. But yeah, he's really let himself down there towards the end of the game, and it's an experience, isn't it? Like, you see it with Mosquera, we're starting to see it a little bit with him, and we're obviously such a better team, such a different team when we don't have Gabriel and Saliba at centre back, and I think that shows, and it's really has started to show in the results and the amount of goals we're conceding in recent weeks. But look, I have no doubts that he's going to become a top player at Arsenal Football Club. I'm glad we've signed him for the amount we did. He's 23 years old, he's an invincible. I mean, what more experience do you need? But yeah, we've just got to be patient with players like him because look, they aren't going to be Gabriel and Saliba straight from the off. Like I said, he's a lot younger and he's only just come into the team. I've already mentioned before, he doesn't actually speak English, so these things are going to take time. But after he did dribble the ball out of play, and then Aston Villa obviously managed to fashion their chance in and around the box, I think the defending on that goal just completely summed up Arsenal this afternoon. It was just an absolute car crash. Players sliding all over the place, giving the ball away in the area, not clearing our lines, and then eventually Aston Villa took their chance that we were basically handing to them. So we've touched on the fact that Eze came off at half-time for Trossard, and I think that was a brilliant change from Arteta. I think Trossard was the perfect player for that game. We needed a man who was going to take a chance when the moment came, and 6 minutes after coming on, he took his chance, didn't he? He scored. And I know a lot of people are going to be talking about it, but funnily enough, I do actually back the decision to take him off just towards the end of the game as well. A lot of people might have found that strange, and I understand that, but at that stage in the game, we were up against it. You know, Aston Villa aren't a bad team, and they're playing at home. We've got to face the facts here. Like, we're a great team. We're one of the best teams, if not the best team on the planet. But at the end of the day, Aston Villa are a top team and they had a lot of the momentum at that point in the game. And I think Martinelli offers you so much more defensively, whereas he can also offer you so much on the counter-attack if we do manage to get that one chance. Like the one he got at the Bernabeu, like the one he got in Bilbao, like the one he got against Bayern Munich last week, Sevilla a few years ago. Like we're always seeing Martinelli break away on the counter-attack like we did at Villa Park about 2-3 years ago. Like, it happens all the time. So I do actually think that change made sense from Arteta there, so I can't complain with that one. But the one I just can't agree with was taking off Saka for Madueke. At that stage in the game, I just think if anything was going to come for us at that point, it was going to be through Saka, and taking off him at that moment in time, I just think it was rash. Saka wasn't really getting the beating of Maatsen too often. Villa were playing really deep when we were attacking in and around their half, so bringing on Madueke to just kick and run and beat people wasn't really ever going to be the move, because we know Madueke's end product is nowhere near the level of Saka's. I think if you leave Saka on, he might get one chance where he cuts in on his left and whips a ball into the right area, and we maybe get a goal from it. But with Madueke, I just think you eliminate that possibility and just more hope on, you know, running the ball down to the byline and getting a corner maybe. But it's not even like we have Gabriel in the box at the moment. Madueke came on, he had a couple half chances, didn't really take them. again, like I said, I don't really think it was the right decision. I think we should have left Saka on and maybe brought on Madueke in another area of the pitch. But yeah, I can't get behind that one. Obviously, feel free to let me know down in the comments if you do think that was the right decision, because obviously I do understand, you know, pace is always good in and around that time of the game, but I just think Saka's that much better than Madueke in those key moments that, yeah, that wasn't really the move. But one change we're definitely going to be talking about properly is the Merino for Gyökeres substitution. Oh, my friend, we've tried to blame the lack of service and we've given you time. But for a lump like Victor to have the hold-up play that he does, I just don't think it's anywhere near good enough, and he seems to have completely lost his killer instinct in and around the box. As I just mentioned, his hold-up play, I mean, every single time the ball's coming into him, he's either ending up on the floor in front of the defender or his first touch is going to the other team anyway. It's not like when the ball's put up in the air and Havertz is laying it off to someone nearby him, or Merino's winning a flick on, or Gabriel Jesus is bringing it down and using a bit of trickery to link up some play. I mean, the ball is literally going into Gyökeres and hitting him like a brick wall and either bouncing off somewhere else or just breaking him down. His movement today was just non-existent. There was one ball that I think Calafiori put into the box and Gyökeres is just nowhere near it. He's about 5 metres behind where he needs to be when the ball's put into the box. Those are the kind of moments where, as a striker, you've got to be in the right position at the right time, like an Erling Haaland would be, and he just isn't. He's just, I don't know, just jogging around running around like he's got a parachute on his back. He's just slow. If I'm Arteta right now, I'm sticking with Merino as my number 9 option because I'm starting to believe he's a better footballer than Gyökeres. To be fair, with him being a central midfielder from Spain, it's not a shock that he's a better footballer than Gyökeres, but I'm starting to think he's a better striker than Gyökeres. He hasn't got more goals than Gyökeres this season, does he? Okay, I think Merino's got 1 less goal than Gyökeres in all competitions, but I mean, look at the amount of time he's played up front compared to Gyökeres. I mean, it's not looking great. But in Arteta's defence, I think this signing gives him a lot more freedom than the likes of Havertz did, you know, when he brought him in for £65 million and it was all his idea. At the start, when Havertz wasn't really firing, you kind of got the feeling that Arteta was only playing him because he felt like he had to after spending £65 million on him. But with Gyökeres, I feel like it's a little bit different because I think as a fan base, we kind of peer pressured the club into signing him. We all went on for months and months about wanting an out-and-out striker, a deadly number 9, and I mean, that's exactly what the club have basically given us. They've only gone and got the top scorer in Europe over the last 2 years. There was the reports that Arteta wanted Sesko over him, but look, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm willing to give Arteta more freedom with this signing to, you know, rotate him, because at the end of the day, we as fans, I feel, kind of almost peer pressured the club into bringing in Gyökeres. So if Arteta feels in some games like Merino's the best option, or if Jesus is the best option, or Kai Havertz is a better option than Victor Gyökeres, then I'm not going to sit here and, you know what I'm saying, complain. But that's not to say Victor Gyökeres is bad or he can't come good. I just think right now he needs some adapting. It's going to take a bit of time, which it shouldn't really, to be honest, and I don't think we can afford to give it time, but it might take time. So if other players do have to come into this team, obviously I heard that Jesus played in a friendly against United today. Things are looking good for him in terms of his recovery. Hopefully he can come back and be the player he was just before he got injured, scoring hat-tricks against Palace, like brace against Palace. I think he then scored a goal against Brentford on New Year's Day. He was firing before he got injured, which was a shame. So hopefully he can come back the same player. But what I'm saying is I don't think the best idea here is to just force Gyökeres into the team every single game because he cost us, 60-something million and he's our brand new flashy toy. I just think leave Arteta to it. If Arteta thinks Merino's the best man for the job some games, leave him to it, because Merino's proven to be quality for us over this last year. Now, despite how bad the result was, how bad the weather was, how bad the performance was, just how bad the day was in general, you know, the fact that I woke up at 7 a.m. in the morning and rushed to Euston train station on a line bike. I actually crashed my line bike in the morning. That was absolutely terrible. I've still got a bruised knee from it that I'm not going to bother sticking on camera. It's fair to say it's been a terrible day at the office, but look, it's not the end of the world. The level of the Premier League is at an all-time high right now. This Aston Villa team haven't lost a game at home since we last went there and played them in, August or September last season? I mean, that is just ridiculous. This is a team that's not even competing in the Champions League, by the way, and this is the standard of the Premier League. You win some, you lose some, and look, today we've just lost to a top team, and that's just how it goes, and we've only lost 2 games this season, like August 31st and today, and we're nearly at Christmas. I mean, it's not bad going, is it? And we're still top of the table by 2 points. So as long as Arteta rotates the team against Bruges in midweek, gets a few minutes in for players that don't get so many minutes, and rests most of our main players. I mean, Declan Rice is one of the players who definitely needs a rest at the moment. Get through that game with no injuries, collect 3 points and a clean sheet if possible, then march on to Wolves at the weekend where we can make a statement, win that game, and we're back on track. I mean, we're not even off track. We're still 2 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. I just think outsiders of Arsenal Football Club want us to believe that things are falling apart, but in reality, nothing's falling apart. Today was just a bump in the road against the top team, and look, these games happen. We move on. We've lost the game. There's nothing we can do about it now. We just have to pick our heads up and win our next few games up until the Christmas period. As I said at the start, make sure to like this video if you haven't already, subscribe for more, and look, let me know down in the comments what you made of the game today. Are you starting to panic, or have you got more of a level head like I have right now? Because look, I'm not losing losing any patience. Like I said, we're still top of the Premier League table. We're still top of the Champions League table. I don't think the wheels have fallen off by any means. Guys, just stay calm. Look, what do they say? It's a marathon, not a sprint. I'll see you all after hopefully collecting 3 points against Bruges on Wednesday. Come on, Arsenal.